All right, welcome back to the show. Boy, we got one for you today. BRICS says they're launching an independent payment system based on, you guessed it, blockchain and crypto. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, X, or YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, it's $2.65 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 4.2%. Again, I remind you, we were at $1 trillion about a month ago. Market cap. 2.65 trillion is where we're at right now. 3+ trillion was the high. We are creeping back to that spot very quickly. Bitcoin 67,200 plus, 3,700 plus for Ethereum, 99.6 billion plus market cap for Tether. We still don't know how the U.S. Treasury feels about it. 64 cents at the number 7 spot for XRP. It's up 16.1% on the 7-day. Range of price very quickly here is 62 cents on the bottom, 67 cents on the top. We'll keep an eye on it, but until then, let's talk to Nick Burafedo, who I happen to have live on the phone right now, because that's the kind of connections I got. Nick, how you doing this morning?
Hey, Brad. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing well. I know that there's some really great things happening over at Link2, but I thought, you know what? Why don't we just reach out to Nick and have him tell us all what's going on?
Well, thanks for having me on, Brad. I tell you what, I can't wait to hear your news on BRICS and what's going on there. And it's an exciting time to be in the markets with everything going on.
Indeed.
So yeah, we've got so much going on at Link2. I mean, obviously our growth trajectory is just unbelievable. But I wanted all of our members to know that Circle and Anthropic continue to be extremely popular on the platform. And Anthropic is a competitor of OpenAI, and they have really amazing AI solutions that if you haven't seen it, go to their website and check it out. It's amazing. And also Cerebras will be back soon. We have a lot of members that are looking for Cerebras, and they make the largest and fastest AI chip in the world, which is just, it's incredible. But one of the things I really want to let everybody know is we're seeing a very, very sharp increase in activity in the secondary market for companies that are trying to acquire Ripple private equity. So it's making it incredibly difficult for us to find it, get it, and the pricing of it is extremely high. So I would just caution anyone that is looking to increase their Ripple position or take their first Ripple position that you're going to see a lot less Ripple available on a daily basis on our platform. And when it's sold out, it's sold out. I mean, we just aren't going to be able to provide it. We do have 60 names on our platform right now, so there's a lot of other choices. But I want to let folks know that. And I know, look, I talk to people that listen to your program every day who, sign up for Link2, and they've been listening to your program for years. And they know about Link2, and they know that we have Ripple shares, and they're just buying their first Ripple shares right now. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are still on the sidelines that have been wanting to do it. Come on in, guys. As Brad says, it's easier than you think. The one thing that members tell me is, I didn't realize it'd be so easy. So go over to link2.com, get signed up, get your Ripple shares while you can, and that's really what I wanted to tell you about what's going on.
And I want to drop two things very quickly because you make a great point. When I signed up and registered to become a member of Link2, I was shocked. I was like, that's it? That's all you got to do? It's super, super easy. So if you think it's some complicated, drawn out process, it just isn't. So don't waste time. The other thing I want to make a point of too, that Nick is talking about here, if this Ripple private equity is getting hard to get a hold of, you have to remember Link2 has to go out and buy this from shareholders. They just don't pick up the phone and call Ripple and say, give me this many. They have to go out and pry it out of the hands of the people who have it. So if they're getting to a place where it's hard to let go, it's starting to really say the market's saying, I don't know if I want to let go of this anymore. So the opportunity and the window is closing, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah. Well, and look, I mean, with the final piece of the case, happening here in April and early May, I think everybody knows that the end is near, right? So look, this has been a long road for a lot of us. And I always say I've been involved in XRP and Ripple for 7 years, but it's really 14 years because it's 7 years of days and 7 years of nights. And it's been a long road, but we all know it's coming to an end.
No doubt about it. And speaking of long road, we got a short road until XRP Las Vegas, and you and the CEO, Joe Indoso, and Will, everybody's going to be on stage hanging out. Tell us about what's going on at XRP Las Vegas for Link 2.
I'm telling you, we cannot be more excited about XRP Las Vegas. We're not only a sponsor, but we're going to have some special events there for our members. And I just cannot encourage your listeners enough. Come out to XRP Las Vegas. Come meet like-minded people who are also interested in Ripple and XRP and blockchain and the future of tokenization and payments and all of this great stuff. Come out. It's always a great time. You're going to get to meet people that you've known on Twitter for years and watched on YouTube and all this stuff. We're going to have 2 very special events. So, and the invites and the times to these events should be going out to our members in the next couple of days. So the first event, and both of these events are going to take place on May 2nd, right? So if you get an invitation to these events and you've already made your travel arrangements and you're not going to be there on the 1st or in time to make it for our events on the 2nd, you need to change your travel arrangements. So be sure to do that. The first event is going to be on the 2nd. It's going to be a late morning into lunchtime event, and it's going to be the Link 2 Las Vegas Investor Conference, which will be for all Link 2 accredited investors, and they may bring a guest. And I'll tell you what, we love it when someone brings a guest who's interested in becoming a member of Link 2. So please bring someone that might want to find out more about Link 2. This conference is going to be all about private equity, exits, the IPO market, and all of the exciting things that we're expecting in 2024. So I would recommend that anybody that can attend the daytime event, please attend this event. It's going to be great. The second event is going to be the evening of the 2nd, which you've attended these before, Brad. This is going to be a exclusive Team Apollo member event for TA members and a guest. And we also love for our TA members to bring someone who wants to become a potential member at Link 2. These TA events are a blast. It's a cocktail party for our most elite members, and they get to meet each other and enjoy adult beverages and have great food. These events are fantastic. Here's what I would say though, for your listeners who aren't Team Apollo members. Team Apollo members are the top 15% of the investors at Link 2. Any members out there that are not yet Team Apollo members, to become a Team Apollo member currently, you have to have $90,000 invested on the Link 2 platform. We have hundreds of people that are probably one investment away from being a Team Apollo member. So if you want to qualify to be a Team Apollo member so you can join us at that party, you can do that now. And let's see what else I had. I had marked down some notes I want to tell you about. Oh, look, and also this, we can't accommodate everyone in both of these events. So when your invites come out, make sure that you get signed up immediately because they always get full, just like your event, Brad. Your event always sold out last year, and I'm gonna warn everyone listening to the sound of my voice because it happened last year. I had dozens and dozens and dozens of people, Nick, you got to get me a ticket to XRP Las Vegas. You got to get me a ticket. I'm like, I can't. Get your tickets while they're still available, and keep a lookout for the invites from Link 2.
No doubt about it. Well said, Nick. And it was heart-wrenching last year. It was like so bittersweet. You feel good that the event sold out, but then it was hard to tell people there was nothing you could do to get them a ticket. So I hope people take your advice on that. Nick Burfado from Link 2.
Thanks,
Nick,
Brad.
Thank you so much, man. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
All right, bye. Hey guys, let me tell you, this is really a remarkable time, and I certainly hope that everybody's hearing what Nick said because it is going to be a real educational experience. And what a time for you to come to this conference, because take a look at the news today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my, BRICS just in to launch independent payment system based on cryptocurrency blockchain. And I went to this article to show you exactly what they're talking about. And yes, it is a payment system based on blockchain. The effort is part of a specific task for this year, to increase the role of BRICS in the international monetary system. Okay? Now we know Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are the core countries that make up BRICS coalition. And we've had multiple countries join since then. I want to highlight this, as this was all being said and shared from the Kremlin aide, Yuri Yushkov. And basically, he's telling you, the de-dollarization movement is very real, and we're going to launch this system, and this is what's going to happen. Then we also know that also in February, Klaus Knott, the chair of the Financial Stability Board, which keeps an eye on the global financial system, chimed in as well. We've covered the FSB, the Financial Stability Board, here multiple times, but let's move quickly through this information here. So BRICS Pay has been in development for years. Shout out to Matthew Lioneye, who's a beast. If you're not following him, he's an OG in this space. It is a blockchain digital asset ecosystem. You can see some of the illustrations, which we have covered here. I'm just refreshing your memory and level setting for a lot of the new people coming into the audience here. So let's show those things. We know it's real. You can go back and look at it. Then highlight this, which is the BIS. We covered this as well. Look who was invited to sit with the BIS and be a part of their task force, right? The extension task force composition for cross-border payments. Ripple. Yeah, shout out to NFA. You remember that amazing video he made? Everything he's telling you about it. Ripple. Then there's this, that, the other. Ripple. That is such an incredible video. Shout out to that guy. He's amazing. And I got to meet him last year. It was so cool at XRP Las Vegas. And you'll get to meet him this year. So take a listen to this. This is a reminder from James Wallace about the BIS and the M-Bridge, which we've talked about before. This is a slightly different clip. Listen to what he says here.
Cross-border has becoming a bigger topic around central bank digital currency. BIS has got their MCBC approach. How do you resolve that? And I think this notion of a neutral bridge currency to be the building block, if you like, between different currencies. That's going to be something to balance as well. So I added a fourth one in there. I'm sorry, I sneaked an extra one in.
And that's okay, James. We're glad you did sneak that extra. You're damn right we're glad you snuck it in there, James. James is amazing. And you know what? And then there was this quick clip about what M-Bridge is and how XRP Ledger is one of the pilots being considered for the M-Bridge model.
Right. We're using the same technology that it's with the XRP ledger. The token would be the CBDC, right? So the central bank would actually create their own token, a digital euro, digital dollar, whatever the market is, and that becomes the digital asset.
So that becomes a digital asset. Keep listening.
The native coin.
The native coin, yeah. Now, where XRP could come into play potentially is when you're looking at cross-border CBDC. So when you have a digital dollar and you have a digital real, or digital pound, you obviously need to have some way to interact cross-border. Yeah. So I think the BIS call this a multi-CBDC model. One of the ideas is you use a sort of a neutral bridge currency to go from one to the other, similar to the model I explained earlier, with our on-demand liquidity.
And there you have it. So he's telling you. And we know China, which is a BRICS coalition partner, has partnered with the Bank of International Settlements to create, you guessed it, M-Bridge. A digital payment system that completely bypasses SWIFT and the U.S. banks. I have to wonder if that is going to be this system. Let's think of this for a moment. BRICS is creating an independent payment system based on cryptocurrency and blockchain. Isn't it? Yes, it is, right? So if that's the case, then you look at this and you understand, we know it is absolutely a very strong limb to understand that M-Bridge may just be the XRP ledger. And China's already connected to it. Oh, this is getting fun, ladies and gentlemen. More evidence here. Infrastructure for blockchain adoption has been set. Well, coming down into here, you better follow Smoke Dog now. Smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm going to buy the t-shirt.
Big asset managers, big
Let me
banks
get this.
have
1 second.
a deep connection with the real world, right?
Okay, my apologies. Had a little technical audio error there. But if you look at this, TravelX Bank, Ripple ODL partner, right? ISO timeline, which we know, obviously everybody's shifting towards that. Then Ripple's India Federal Bank, team on cross-border payments, FIS, Ripple partner, and one of RBI's CBDC pilot bank, Yes Bank, yes indeedy. And I was at Swell 2019. And I asked a gentleman that worked for Yes Bank, I said, call me crazy. I've flown halfway around the world. I've flown halfway around the world. Forgive me for asking. Are you guys going to use XRP? I know you're working with Ripple, but are you going to use XRP? And he made fun of me. He actually made a joke at the table, which I was totally fine with. He said, he dropped his fork and he said, are you kidding me? Do you think we're here for the food? Of course we're going to be using XRP. And I was like, wow, okay, that feels good, right? Another BRICS partner, right? Then we know about China. We know about Temenos, right? We know about all of these different connections here. And that's the point of this that Smoke is making as well, right? So shout out to Smoke for that info. Then we know Mark Carney sat and talked about the synthetic hegemonic currency a couple years ago at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, at the big monetary meeting that went on out there with the Fed, right? Yeah, that happened. And if you go into this, if you remember, I'll even go back to here where Mark Carney talks about a new virtual currency could ease reliance on the US dollar, right? And if we go a little further, if you remember, and I'll get there, we don't need to hear him say it because that's what it says and it takes less time. There's Miguel Valles right there. And I'm trying to get to the part I want to show you where that's where the group of 30 was. Where he also, Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of England, who is a paid customer to Ripple, goes on to talk about XRP being used as a global stablecoin. Now, we've had a lot of people out in this crypto Twitter police space tell us that we are out of our minds. Out of our minds. But yet, global demand for a basket-backed stablecoins by the Federal Reserve discuss a model where buyers and sellers from different countries meet to trade for good. There it is right there. Now, it's not saying XRP inside of this particular document, but these conversations are all connected, I believe. Now, whether they all lead back directly to XRP is the final piece to the puzzle we need to find out or not. And here we know Jeremy Allaire talked about G20 recommendations and actually having regulations for global stable coins, right? And in this, I just want to show you that stable coins for cross-border payments were acknowledged by the World Bank in November of 21 that XRP and XLM, in fact, are stable coins for cross-border payments. But everyone says that the World Bank has it wrong, and the former governor of the Bank of England, who's a paid customer at Ripple, has it wrong too somehow. So somehow those influencers, those YouTubers, those developers, they're smarter than the World Bank and Mark Carney and the Bank of England, isn't it? Well, they may be. They may very well be. But until I find out for sure, no one has got the answer until we know definitively. Now, BRICS Journal cites the features of the XRP ledger as an example, what their new payment system could be based on right here. Funds needed to execute contract contemporarily pre-stored in a linked virtual escrow-like account associated with the contract to guarantee fund availability at the time of execution, XRP ledger 2020. They've known for years. And so has the United States government. You telling me that the world hasn't known that this is going this way? Of course they do. We are in the 80th year of the US dollar being the global reserve currency, and 2 out of the last 5 had a lifespan of 80 years. Now, whether it's time up for us or not, it's time to start asking what is the replacement to elevate the dominance of the US dollar to continue to serve as a world reserve currency. Because I can assure you this, you're not going to want to see that go away. Think of it for a moment. What your life would be like Now, I'm not saying there isn't a storm coming, because I believe there is a storm coming. But what I am saying is, according to the BIS here, I'm going to hope for now, until I learn new information, that XRP falls in a Group 1 asset classification. Because it falls in a Group 2, like Bitcoin as an example, the banks are required to hold 1,250% on top of the amount they want to use and hold as a risk weight applied, which is a way of putting a regulatory condition to deter banks from using Bitcoin. You think a bank wants to hold 1,250% on top of what they plan on using? No. No, that's the way of BIS telling them stay away from this. And we're going to make it very, very taxing for you to hold 1,250% on top of whatever you got here to cover any slippage or any kind of interruption in the liquidity, right? So at this point, if these are the rules of the road and things don't change, yes, I'm hoping that XRP becomes a global stablecoin or a stablecoin designation, which could be pegged to any denomination based on the liquidity and utility on the network. It doesn't mean that XRP would be $1 forever. Then before we get out of here, what if all of this puts Congress in a situation where they say, you know what, in order to feel better about all of this because of the Ripple and the XRP escrow, maybe Ripple would be required to become a bank. There sure are a lot of people from the U.S. Treasury on their board. Come through the Ripple camp. Susan Friedman, Craig Phillips, Rosie Rios, Michael Westbar. We know the names, are all Treasury officials. Monica Long, recently named president of Ripple. They've never had a president before that. But I know banks do. Banks have presidents, don't they? All of this is on the table until it isn't. This is not hyping. This is not alarmist. This is not none of that. This is being very objective, very honest about the fact that I don't know the answer, but these things are sitting here until they aren't. And I'll be tickled to death when we could take some of these things off the table, and I find it miraculous that we can't. I hope you will join us in the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're going to get into it today. We got Elon Musk for you, and you're going to want every single bit of it on AI. We're going into the Freedom Zone right now. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone button, and come on in. All right, welcome.